In the heart of a remote town nestled at the base of the Whispering Woods, there existed a legend that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. This dense forest had earned its eerie reputation for good reason, as hikers and adventurers who dared to venture deep into its depths often returned with harrowing tales of unsettling whispers and encounters with ghostly figures that defied explanation. It was a place where nightmares came to life. The Whispering Woods stretched as far as the eye could see, its thick canopy of ancient trees blocking out most of the sunlight, casting the forest floor into perpetual gloom. The locals whispered tales of the woods being cursed, a place where the spirits of the past wandered, their voices carried on the breeze like haunting lullabies. Skeptics scoffed at the stories, attributing them to overactive imaginations or the wind rustling through the leaves. But the believers knew better. One chilling evening, I set out to investigate the spine-tingling legends that had plagued the Whispering Woods for generations. Armed with a flashlight and a recorder to capture any ghostly whispers, I entered the forest with trepidation. The trees seemed to close in on me, their gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal fingers, eager to snatch away my sanity. As I ventured deeper, the woods grew eerily silent, save for the occasional rustle of leaves. The air was thick with a sense of foreboding, and the whispers began. Faint and indistinct at first, they were like the murmur of a distant crowd. I strained to listen, my heart pounding in my chest, and slowly, the whispers coalesced into words. "Leave. Go back. Before it's too late," they seemed to say, an otherworldly chorus that sent shivers down my spine. But curiosity and determination drove me onward. I needed to uncover the truth behind these haunting voices. Hours passed, and the forest's oppressive darkness seemed unending. My flashlight's beam occasionally caught fleeting glimpses of movement, shadowy figures that danced at the edges of my vision. Panic gnawed at me, but I pressed on. Suddenly, I stumbled upon a clearing bathed in an eerie, pale light. The heart of the Whispering Woods. There, standing before me, was a figure cloaked in mist, its features obscured. It beckoned me with a ghostly hand, and a voice like a whispering wind spoke. "You should not have come." I asked who or what it was, my voice trembling. The figure merely replied, "We are the echoes of the past, trapped here in this forsaken place." My recorder captured the conversation, but my rational mind struggled to accept what I was witnessing. Were these the ghostly figures the hikers had spoken of? The very spirits of those who had once walked these woods? The figures' words grew more ominous. The Whispering Woods were once a place of sacred rituals, but a dark force has bound us here. You must leave, or you too will be trapped. Fear coursed through me, and I backed away slowly, but it seemed the woods themselves conspired against my escape. Trees shifted their positions. The path twisted and turned in unnatural ways. Panic set in as I realized I was lost, disoriented by the forest's malevolent design. The ghostly figure spoke again. "You are in our grasp now. You will join us." Its voice seemed to surround me, and the whispers grew louder, more sinister. I clutched my recorder, pleading for help, for an escape from this waking nightmare. But just as despair began to consume me, a faint glimmer of hope emerged. A beam of moonlight pierced the thick canopy and illuminated a path forward. It was as if the forest itself had relented, granting me a way out. I ran, my heart pounding, following the guiding light. The whispers faded, and the oppressive darkness slowly lifted as I emerged from the Whispering Woods, battered and terrified, but alive. The forest's cursed grip had loosened, allowing me to escape its clutches. As I left that place, I knew the legends were no mere tales. The Whispering Woods held secrets beyond our comprehension, a place where the echoes of the past still whispered their sorrowful tales to those who dared to listen. I had survived the nightmare, but the chilling memory of that night would haunt me forever, a constant reminder of the spine-tingling legends that were all too real. Nestled deep within the dense woods of Ravenswood, the imposing Larkspur Manor stood in eerie solitude. This massive Victorian mansion had always been a source of dread among the locals. Its unsettling reputation emanated from a single room, The Silent Room. The tale of the Silent Room had been whispered from one generation to the next. As legend had it, a sinister event had unfolded within its walls over a century ago, shrouding the room in darkness and despair. No one dared to enter it, and those who did were never seen again. The Silent Room was located at the far end of the third floor, accessible only through a long, narrow corridor. It was known for its ornate but macabre decor, featuring faded crimson wallpaper, heavy velvet drapes, and an antique four-poster bed with frayed and dusty curtains. The room was said to be devoid of sound, as if trapped in an eternal silence, and its windows were forever sealed shut, blocking out any trace of daylight. The story began with the mansion's original owner, Lord Augustus Larkspur, a reclusive and enigmatic figure. Lord Larkspur had a peculiar obsession with the occult, often delving into the darkest corners of the supernatural. He was rumored to have conducted sinister experiments within the confines of the Silent Room. One chilling night, as an ominous storm raged outside, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the mansion. It was said that Lord Larkspur had summoned an entity beyond human comprehension, a malevolent spirit that could not be contained. Desperation filled the mansion as the servants heard unholy chants and saw flickering shadows beneath the door of the Silent Room. When the storm finally subsided, the manor was engulfed in an eerie silence, broken only by the occasional whisper of the wind. The servants, gripped by fear, hesitantly approached the Silent Room. When they opened the door, they found Lord Larkspur's lifeless body, his eyes wide with terror, lying at the center of a peculiar pentagram etched into the floorboards. In the years that followed, the room was sealed off, and a pervasive unease settled over Larkspur Manor. No one dared to enter the Silent Room, and it became a forbidden chamber, shrouded in mystery and fear. As the decades passed, the manor changed hands multiple times, but the Silent Room remained untouched. Its legend grew, and people claimed to hear haunting whispers emanating from behind the door. Some said they saw shadowy figures moving within, while others swore they heard Lord Larkspur's tormented cries echoing through the night. In 1957, a brave paranormal investigator named Samuel Blackwell arrived at Larkspur Manor, determined to uncover the truth behind the Silent Room's curse. Armed with an array of gadgets and a heart full of skepticism, he embarked on his investigation. Blackwell began his quest by interviewing the townsfolk, who shared their spine-tingling encounters with the Silent Room. He discovered that no one who had entered had ever returned, and those who had dared to linger outside, its door had experienced strange phenomena, like unexplainable drops in temperature or objects moving on their own. Undeterred, Blackwell decided to spend the night in the corridor outside the Silent Room. He set up his equipment and prepared for the long and eerie night ahead. As the hours passed, he felt an overwhelming sense of dread and heard faint whispers that seemed to come from within the room. At the stroke of midnight, the door to the Silent Room creaked open slowly, revealing an abyss of darkness beyond. Blackwell's heart raced as he hesitated at the threshold. The whispers grew louder, urging him to enter, but he resisted. Suddenly, a bone-chilling gust of wind blew through the corridor, extinguishing Blackwell's lantern. He was left in pitch-black darkness, surrounded by the suffocating silence. Panic overcame him, and he fumbled for his flashlight. When the light finally pierced the darkness, Blackwell found himself alone in the corridor. The door to the Silent Room had slammed shut, leaving him trapped in the oppressive silence. Desperation consumed him as he pounded on the door, pleading for release. Hours turned into days, and Blackwell's cries grew weaker. He could hear the faint laughter of the malevolent spirits within, tormenting him in the silence. His sanity unraveled, and he was never seen again. Larkspur Manor remained abandoned, a foreboding monument to the horrors that lurked within. The legend of the Silent Room continued to grow, and the mansion itself became a place where no soul dared to tread. And so, to this day, the Silent Room of Larkspur Manor remains a place of unspeakable dread, a testament to the malevolent forces that can be summoned from the depths of the unknown. Its haunted history serves as a chilling reminder that some secrets are better left unopened, lest they consume those who dare to enter.